It's Thursday morning. It's 9 a.m., and that's when we have our town once again here on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. My name is Darren Swenson. Our town, as always, brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust. This is a fun time of year on our town. Every Thursday is fun doing this show, but this time of year is especially fun. We could probably go 2 hours with all the community events taking place this weekend, but we're going to talk about three in particular on the show today. Next week, we really get going with our county fair season with the Mighty Howard County Fair in Cresco. We'll talk to Tom Barnes with the Mighty Howard County Fair a little later on. Of course, June is Dairy Month, and it's always fun to support those in the dairy industry, those in the agriculture industry. And one of the fun events of June Dairy Month is Breakfast on the Farm. We'll talk to Brenna Connelly, that is, from the Iowa Dairy Center, talk about the events coming up on Saturday. But this weekend in Burr Oak, it's Laura Days. Always a fun event. And Barb Olson with the Laura Days Committee will kick off our show. She will start the festivities on this week's edition of Our Town. It's brought to you by Decorah Bank and Trust, and you're listening to it on 94.9 and 99.1 The River. Coming up this weekend in Burr Oak, it's the annual Laura Days celebration, and Barb Olson with the Laura Days Committee joining us to tell us all about it. And Laura Days coming up this weekend. Barb, obviously a lot of fun going on, and it all starts on Friday night. Why don't we run down the activities for Friday night as we get going?
Okay, great. Thanks for having me. We're gearing up for our 47th annual Laura Day celebration. So Friday night, it begins with bingo, which will be held in front of Barney's Bar and Grill, right next to the museum. And then the J.R. Brink Band is coming at 8 o'clock until midnight. So that will be Friday night. And then we start Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
And all sorts of fun coming up on Saturday. Kind of a little bit of something for everyone on Saturday looking at the schedule. Is that fair to say?
Right. We've got children's games and pioneer crafts and activities in the park all day long, starting at 10. We have a parade at noon. And at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we've got a speaker coming, Sarah Utoff, who is on the Iowa Humanities Speakers Bureau. She's a well-known speaker, presenter, researcher for all of the Laura museums. And she has a program called Packing Up. So she portrays Laura as an adult. And Laura is going to pack up for her final move from South Dakota to Missouri with her husband and her daughter, Rose. And she reminisces as she's packing up her trunk. So that's at 1 o'clock on Saturday. That will be followed by the pie auction. This is an auction of local homemade pies, which is always very popular. The naming of the new Little Miss Laura. We have 4 candidates running for that position. Then there's a beanbag tournament starting at 3 o'clock, which is also held on the street in front of the museum and Barney's Bar and Grill. Registration is actually in Barney's, that you need to register before the beanbag tournament begins. And the Joe Cody Band will be entertaining at 7 o'clock at night. And then we move to Sunday. Sunday, we have a gospel music service in the park at 10 o'clock, presented by Sister Love. This is a sister group from Spring Valley, Minnesota. And that's followed by a free will lunch of sandwiches and chips and another bingo game. At 1 o'clock, Pastor Wurgis from the Burr Oak Lutheran Church will be leading a hymns and hops at Barney's Bar and Grill. And all weekend, there are tours, of course, of the museum itself. We're running tours every 20 minutes.
And obviously a busy weekend. You mentioned the parade coming up on Saturday as well at noon. Can folks still get entries into that parade at this time?
Yes, and actually we no longer assign parade numbers
Okay.
anymore. So if you want to participate in the parade, all you do is come between 11:30 and 11:45 Saturday morning and get in line, and they'll take your name and give it to Janelle, who will be announcing the parade entries.
And of course, with the way Mother Nature has been treating our area as of late, obviously, weather hasn't been the kindest to us for the outdoor activities over the last few weeks. If weather throws you a curveball this weekend, you have a option for the events, from what I understand. Is that correct?
Yes, all of the activities and the food tent will move to the Baroque Lutheran Church. The parade will have to be postponed if we have heavy rain. However, last summer we held the parade even though it was misting. We went right ahead with the parade. So that's going to have to be kind of a last minute decision. I'd say by 10:30 in the morning we can get the word out if we have to cancel the parade.
All right, and you mentioned this is the 47th year for Laura Days. In your mind, what keeps this event going, and what has allowed this event to be so sustainable over the years?
Well, we depend on a lot of volunteers. We can't do this without volunteers, and they come from all over. It's not necessarily local people. They just come from all over, but we do depend on our local community also. And without them, we can't do this. But there's still a lot of interest in Laura out there, and we have visitors from all over every year coming to check things out and participate in the activities.
And of course, the Laura Museum open in Baroque. It's one of those deals where obviously it attracts a lot of people from all over, but sometimes us as local people, we don't maybe appreciate the things we have in our communities as well as we should have. As for the museum itself, what are the hours of operations? When can people come up and visit during a regular summer day?
We're open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday. We're open from 10 o'clock till 5 o'clock. And on Sunday, we're open from noon until 4. And then those hours change after Labor Day, but those are our summer hours.
All right, Barb, anything we're missing? Anything else you want to pass on to the public as long as you got the forum this morning regarding Laura Days this weekend, or anything else fun going on in Baroque?
Well, we hope that you all can come and visit us. It'll be a fun day, a fun time, good weekend. And if not, come and see us at some other point in time because it's a very unique place. This is where Laura lived. Laura Ingalls Wilder lived when she was 9 years old. They were here for a year, and the museum itself is the hotel that the Ingalls lived and worked in. And it's on its original site. It's the original building with restoration, of course. So it's a very unique place. We do get visitors from nearly all 50 states and usually about 25 countries. So yeah, come and see us.
All right, Barb, we appreciate you taking the time to tell us all about it this weekend. Laura Days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, a little bit of something for everyone this weekend. Best of luck with the event this weekend, Barb. Sounds like a heck of a lot of fun this weekend in Baroque.
It will be. Thanks a lot, Darren.
Barb Olson with Laura Days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday coming up this weekend in Baroque. June is, of course, Dairy Month, and one of the fun months, or one of the fun events of the month in our neck of the woods, is the annual Breakfast on the Farm at the Iowa Dairy Center, just south of the Northeast Iowa Community College campus in Kilmer. And Brenna Connelly is with us to tell us about the event. Brenna, how many years has this event been going?
Yeah, good morning. We're excited to talk about Breakfast on the Farm this morning. We are at our 14th annual Breakfast on the Farm, so looking forward to a big 15th celebration next year.
And tell us about everything that will take place Saturday morning.
Yeah, Saturday morning we have a delicious Belgian waffle breakfast from Dad's Belgian Waffles, paired with sausage and ham, and then of course all of our favorite dairy foods, including yogurt, ice cream, milk, and cheese. So in addition to breakfast, we have family fun activities, including guided tram tours around the farm so you can see our animals and different facilities. And then we have inflatables, corn pools, educational booths, face painting, and more for families to enjoy.
And when will the event take place?
Yeah, we are starting serving breakfast at 8 a.m. with all the other activities, and it will conclude around noon.
And of course, the dairy industry gets highlighted this month, but that's your business 12 months a year at the Iowa Dairy Center. For those that may be unfamiliar with your location, tell us about the Iowa Dairy Center and the Northeast Iowa Dairy and Agriculture Foundation. What's your mission? What is your goal?
Yeah, here at Northeast Iowa Dairy and Egg Foundation, we encompass all agricultural entities, but we focus on beef and dairy out here. So we have a newly constructed beef center in 2016, along with our dairy center. And at our dairy center, we are milking about 200 cows, both in a parlor and our robotic milking systems. And our goal here is communication and outreach. So connecting people and consumers to where their food comes from and giving them a chance to see a real life working dairy farm.
And how important is it to have that kind of real life simulations and real life, I guess, reality right here in our neck of the woods to kind of show people the process of how everything works?
Definitely. We are very lucky to have such a nice facility in this area, and definitely a place where families can have both fun and get an educational opportunity to see how a real dairy farm works and get to know where their food comes from by connecting to farmers. So definitely a fun site that's family friendly and easily accessible here in Calmer. So very open to all people in the surrounding areas, and we're just looking for a fun summer of welcoming you to our farm.
All right. And from what I understand, of course, weather has been a little iffy in a lot of situations lately. This event coming up on Saturday is going to be held rain or shine, correct?
That is correct. We are praying for some nice weather, but it's been very unpredictable and a lot of rain. So definitely still come and join us, rain or shine, on Saturday.
All right. Anything we're missing? Anything else you want to pass on about the event on Saturday or the Iowa Dairy Center in general?
Yeah, just that the event is free to attend for all of our families. We do accept free will donations on site, but come join us for a morning of fun and free breakfast.
And I'll let you give one final invitation for breakfast on the farm.
Yeah, our Breakfast on the Farm event is coming up this Saturday, June 22nd from 8 a.m. to noon at Iowa's Dairy Center, located just outside of Calmer.
All right, Brenna, thanks for taking the time to promote the event. Thanks for what you and everybody at the Iowa Dairy Center and the Northeast Iowa Agriculture Foundation do for agriculture and the economy in this area. Good talking to you, and best of luck with the event coming up on Saturday.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
Brenna Connelly with the Iowa Dairy Center. Breakfast on the Farm, Saturday from 8 a.m. until noon. County Fair season is upon us, and the mighty Howard County Fair in Cresco will take place beginning next week. And with us, as usual, this time of year, Tom Barnes from the mighty Howard County Fair. And Tom, just in the big picture, how much work goes in and how many individuals are involved in that work to make next week a reality?
As you know, Darren, it's not one or two or three people, it's a lot of people. We got in our case, we got a great board that when you call, there's people there to help. We're always in that continual planning mode, fixing mode, repairing mode, or improvement mode at our fairgrounds. And then when you look at the fair itself, you're looking at your county extension office as a major partner in our FFA chapters, and in our fairgrounds, we're blessed to have the historical museum on our grounds. So, they've got quite a few volunteers they've been working there quite a while, improving the museum, and there's just other entities involved. Our wildlife club does a great job with their displays, and so yeah, it's a lot of people. It's these volunteer jobs are more or less a year-round volunteer job. There's really no real break in the work per se or the thinking behind it. It's always on your mind.
And obviously, when it comes to a county fair, we all love to talk about the food. We all love to talk about the grandstand, the midway, etc., and everything like that. But in the big picture, the 4-H and the FFA kids are probably the biggest part of the affair itself. I guess how is everything coming together on that end of things to allow these young people to have the opportunities they get through the fair next week?
Well, you're very correct on that statement, Darren. You know, county fairs exist, number one, to showcase the talents and the goals and the achievements of our local 4-H and FFA kids, and get the public there so they can see what these young kids are doing, and especially in production agriculture. I've always said that the county fairs are really the last bastion of, of promoting and educating the public on production agriculture. In our case, we're doing very well. Our extension office has really got a strong hand on what their programming is and their involvement is. We're very fortunate here in Howard County to have our Ag Education Center on our fairgrounds. Our major partner, of course, is Reichsview Farms, with our pig facility that we have kids involved with, and then H&H Farms, Tim, Diana, and Jennifer, with the Huey family, Michael, all involved with our dairy heifer program. We got strong involvement with that again this year, and our numbers are really good. Our small animals are down slightly, and that's kind of a cyclical thing where one year you'll have 200 chickens, and next year we might have 85. It just depends on the involvement of the kids. We're seeing a trend right now of our older kids, phasing out of the program due to graduations or other interests, but we're seeing an influx of new members and new kids being involved. So it takes them a couple of years to really get ramped up and get into the fair, especially in the livestock side. But we're really happy with our numbers this year.
And of course, the other part of the fair, the fun parts of the grandstand and the midway and the entertainment, that's also a part of it. And you get, let's run down your grandstand entertainment. You get underway with some racing on Wednesday and Thursday night. And so far with the season at Cresco Speedway, let's hope Mother Nature is a little more friendly to you than it has been so far this season, next Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah, it's not been very friendly. We decided to try a few Wednesday night shows this year just to keep the track active. And I tell you, we've had a lot of people come up and say, thank you for doing that. We'll be there. We'll support you. We're running the same program that Winnebago Raceway does and Fayette County Raceway does. Same class of, basically the same class of cars. And, some of them folks actually come up and help us run ours. But so next Wednesday night at the fair, we're doing the basic classes that we have in our area tracks. A little bit more of a payout involved with the fair, and I've heard of some donation sponsorships coming out to make it sweeter. One thing we're doing with the Wednesday night show is we're tying the stock cars and the hobby stocks to the Thursday night show. So the hobbies and stocks, the top 4 finishers in those 2 classes will qualify for their feature on Thursday night. Thursday night is our big late model night. We run the super late model, Hoker Trucking super late model. I guess this year it's called Malvern Bank Super Late Model Series, the East Series, which we've had the last 3 or 4 years on Thursday night. We're also running stock cars and USRA stock cars and USRA USRA hobby stocks. I better get that right. And for $1,000 to win, and it's a pretty strong payout all the way through. I used to race myself years ago, and I know not everybody's going to get the top prize. So the guy that shows up and does his best and finishes 8th or 10th or 4th or whatever it is, they need a little extra boost in their pay too. So that's what we try to do here. So those look like 2 good strong nights of racing, and like you said, we hope the weather gods do cooperate with us on those. We move into Friday night with first of the 2-night concerts with Party in the Pit Night 1 with featuring Sawyer Brown. Really excited about that group. A lot of interest in tickets in our family fun cards in that this year. Saturday night, Hairball is back. Last year, of course, we were just about ready to go, and we had some lightning and rain in the area, so they declined not to. And I don't blame them, especially when you're talking lightning and things like that. So they did agree right then to come back this year. They'd honor their date from last year and bring it to this year. So we're real happy they did that. That'll be a fun night. And it's a great group. And then Sunday night we end up with a rodeo with mutton busting, bull ride and barrel racing and fireworks after the show's over. 5 big nights. And you can see them all if you purchase a family fun card.
And how do people purchase the family fun card?
You can buy them locally. We have them at our area banks. There's a list listed on macfair.com right on the homepage where they're available. We also have fun cards available, K-Bike and Decorah for the people in your area. But Ridgeway has them, Cresco, of course, Elmo, Lime Springs, Portland, Chester all have family fun cards. And just $40 before the fair, 50 at the fair. But you can also go to our website and click on the link to buy them, and you can buy them directly on our website through a ticketing company called eTix. There's a lot of fairs that use eTix. They're a very safe company, and that's why we went with them this year. We're getting a lot of requests for online ticket sales. So, but that's the 2 ways you can get them.
And I
But
know
you
you.
can still buy single night tickets too, Darren.
Okay.
If you only want to come to the races, you can just buy a ticket for the races. You can buy it as you walk up the gate like normal, or you just want to go to hairball, you can buy a ticket that night just for hairball. So it's not just confined to, you got to have the fun card. No, we do single night passes too.
And one thing to keep in mind about the online tickets, that's definitely a thing of convenience in today's society, but it also welcomes some not so good people into the business. And you sent out a reminder about this about a week ago. The only place you can get your online tickets for the Mighty Howard County Fair is eTix. If it's anybody else, don't buy it, right?
That is very true. And we've seen it. I know other concert venues, other county fairs have all been through the same thing where people just Google Sawyer Brown, for instance, and they'll see where the thing is, it says get tickets. And usually it takes them to an offsite or a person that's reselling them, and they can buy a ticket online for $30, meaning somebody they can resell that for whatever they want. I had a call from a lady that they had to pay $100 a piece for them, and so after we looked into it, we found out that they went to an off party place and they promised them all kinds of neat things like backstage passes and everything else for $100 a piece. And I can't do anything about it. The attorney looked at it and he says, Iowa law does not prevent that from happening. So buyer beware. I've always had the practice of, if we're going someplace, I go to the venue we're going to and buy the tickets right off the venue's website. That's the safest there is.
No doubt about it. etix.com, the only place to go for online tickets. Of course, midway wise, it's Evans United shows once again this year, one of the best in the Midwest, and returning to Cresco. That's kind of been their home this time of year for really generations.
Generations is correct. The first time they played our fair was 1974.
Wow.
Right after that, they were able to get into Clear Lake for the Clear Lake's 4th of July celebration. So their route in Iowa, really, they come into Iowa and they used to play a fair early in Iowa, but now they work their way up from the southern United States. And we're the first fair they play, and then they always go to Clear Lake. So that's how their route is based. First they go to Howard County, then they go to Clear Lake. Then they fill in after that. As you know, they're at the Wenatchee County Fair as well, and Great Jones County, and then they're in Maquoketa, and they're down in Davenport. Like you say, a great family. You know them. I know them. I've known them many years. And, you couldn't get nicer people.
Anything else you want to pass on about the fair next week?
Yeah, we got a lot of things going on the grounds. I mean, we've done a lot of freebie stuff, a lot of contests, fairgoers contests. There's just a lot of really different things. As you mentioned earlier, of course, we all look forward to the fair food. And that's part of the county fair. At least 1 week we're off our diet. But there's a lot of really neat things to keep everybody busy, as you know, and it's free gate and free parking, and just a lot of neat things to see. We've done some improvements on the ground since last year. Where our old horse barn really got structurally decrepit, and we had no choice. We were advised to tear it down. So we're currently looking for a replacement area, and we haven't kind of figured out where we're going to put it. But we're turning that area into a kind of a park, and hopefully there'll be a gazebo up by the time the fair is here. I know I was talking to them yesterday and they hope to be over here pretty soon with it. They're waiting for some more parts for it. There's a new sidewalk that a young 4-H gal that's been working the last 3 years of raising money for hard surface for people that are mobility challenged. And last year we paved all the areas in the livestock area. This year we paved 10-foot wide walkway from the north end, or we call it the entertainment end, clear down to the livestock area. So people that are mobility challenged will be able now to make it easier for them to get into our livestock area. We have a lot of people in our area rest homes that make a day trip out to the fair, and you know what it's like trying to push a wheelchair or people with a walker or something like that walking on a gravel surface. It's very difficult. So we're really pleased that we got that done. And there's some really neat lights along it to light it up at night for safety. And so the look has changed a little bit on the south side of the ground, south of the museum. And we're always looking to do different things to keep improving the nature of the beast, as they would call it.
And based on what you talked about, how rewarding is it to make sure that the mighty Howard County Fair and the fairgrounds itself can be some place from people 0 to 100 can go to make sure it's a fun place for people of all ages?
That is true. You know, we want to make it safe for everybody. That's our primary concern, the safety of our fairgoers and our exhibitors and everybody else involved. But we want to make it so it's welcoming. You know, many years ago, in talking to Tommy Evans of Evans United Shows, he said the best thing county fairs can do is have the fairgrounds a welcoming place and have events there where people are used to going to the fairgrounds, so they know it's safe to go to the fairgrounds, not just going out there one day a year or a couple of days a year to go to the county fair. So, you know, that's the thing. You got to keep it safe. You got to keep it looking nice, attractive, welcoming, try to accommodate all needs. You know, fairgrounds are money pits, basically. It's expensive anymore with insurance and utilities and different things like that. So it's a struggle to keep up with the repairs and the capital improvements. We've done a good job so far. Our off-season events really help that, but it's still, when we get to the end of the year and if the ink is just a little bit black, we're happy, you know. It's tough though. It's tough, and volunteers, you just wonder some days why we do it. But when we walk around the fairgrounds and somebody comes up and thanks us, thank you for doing this or that or whatever, you know, we just got paid. That's what I always say. We just got paid.
And anytime, especially you see a young person smile and having a good time at a fair, there's not a price you can put on that, I'd imagine.
No, you can't. That's their memories. We're making memories. We're giving an opportunity to families and friends to make some memories that they'll remember for the rest of their life.
All right, Tom, we appreciate you taking some time talking about the mighty Howard County Fair. Best of luck to you next week with everything going on. Like my dad always said, if it rains, hopefully it's between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. During the fair. And thanks for taking the time and thanks for what you do for our community.
Oh, thanks, Aaron. Thank you for your continued support of the mighty Howard County Fair.
Tom Barnes, mighty Howard County Fair next week in Cresco. Hey, thank you to our guest on the program, Barb Olson from Laura Days. Starts tonight up in Baroque. Brenna Connelly with the Iowa Dairy Center. Breakfast on the farm tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. until noon. Free will donation. Great food, fun activities for the kids. All sorts of fun stuff going on at Breakfast on the Farm on Saturday morning. And of course, next week, it's the mighty Howard County Fair in Cresco. Of course, got to give the love to the Big Four Fair in Postville, which really got fair season underway last week. But mighty Howard County Fair next week in Cresco. Always a pleasure to talk to Tom Barnes, the longtime fair manager of that event. Don't forget, we put these shows on YouTube. We realize you're busy, especially this time of year. So many things to do, so little time to do them in. You can't always be near a smart speaker, near a streaming device, near a radio at 9 o'clock on a Thursday morning. We want you to hear these interesting conversations with interesting people on your schedule. If you're out and about on YouTube, 6-20 Our Town program is a great way to look it up. We also put them on all of our LA Communications radio station Facebook pages. It's another way we try to stay in touch as best as we can with our communities here at the LA Communications family of stations. Thank you to our guests. Thank you to our sponsor, Decorah Bank and Trust. And we thank you, that's right, you, for tuning in, for logging on, or for watching our town on 94.9 and 99.1 The River.